phases of natural language processing. Natural language processing, it is not a one-shot thing. There are different phases whenever a person speaks. So that natural language, it has to be processed in a particular manner to reach to the output. These are called the various phases of natural language processing. So whenever a person speaks, the first phase that his input moves into is the lexical analysis. Basically, this lexical analysis, it divides the whole text into the paragraphs, sentences and words. Whatever the natural language input will be provided to the machine. So first of all, it will be categorized into different, first of all, paragraph, then it will be divided into some sentences, then divided into some words. So that is the first phase of our natural language processing. Second phase, that is called syntactic analysis or parsing also we can call it. Syntactic analysis, it is used to check the grammar. Syntax, that means syntax, it is the rule of grammar. If we are talking in English, talking about something in English, then there are certain rules of grammar that should be applied. If it is some other language, so in the similar way, some other rules will be applied to that. So syntactic analysis, it is used to check the grammar, the word arrangement and shows a relationship among the words. That means if you're saying Jay is playing, that will be considered correct. But if you're saying Jay is plays, so that is a wrong syntax. So there, our syntactic analysis phase plays the most important role to check the grammar, the word arrangement and the relationship among the words. Comes the third phase, that is semantic analysis. It is basically concerned with the meaningful representation. It mainly focuses on the literal meaning of the word. Suppose you say Agra goes to Jay. That makes no sense. Jay goes to Agra. That is a proper sentence. So the meaningful representation will be analyzed in our semantic phase analysis. Now there comes the fourth phase, that is discourse integration. It takes the sentence and it involves the meaning of the sentence, and so it integrates the various meaning that are formed within our sentence. Pragmatic analysis, that is the last phase. It helps you to discover the intended effect of whatever is being told. That means suppose a person says, please open the door. So it will be considered as a request, not as an order. So that is being done in case of pragmatic analysis, means what is going to be the intended effect of that particular sentence spoken. So these are the 5 phases in which our natural language processing functions. Lexical analysis, then syntactic analysis, third is semantic analysis, fourth is discourse integration, and your fifth one is pragmatic analysis. Now comes the next topic, that is word embedding. Word embedding, it is a word representation type which allows the machine learning algorithm to understand the words with similar meaning. It is a language modeling and a feature learning technique which maps the words into vectors of real number using the neural network, the probabilistic models that we use, or maybe the dimensional reduction on the word co-occurrence metrics. So some of the word embedding models are Word2Vec, it is by the Google, Glove by Stanford, etc. There are many models for word embedding. So what is this word embedding doing? It is allowing the machine learning algorithm to understand the words with similar meaning. Word embedding, it helps in feature generation, document clustering, text classification, and even the natural language processing task. So let us list some of the applications of our word embedding. First of all, what does it do? It computes the similar words. Whatever words are being subjected to it as an input, it will compute the similar words together, and it will keep the dissimilar words in a separate cluster. So that is the first place or we can say a use case for our word embedding. Now the word are being categorized, so we have to create a group of related word. So it is used for semantic grouping, which will group the things of similar characteristics together and dissimilar far away. If we are having balls, red balls will be kept at one place, yellow balls at a separate place. Similarly, if we talk about words, similar words will be kept into one cluster and dissimilar words will be kept into a different section. Then the feature for the text classification, the text is mapped into array of vectors which is fed to the model for training as well as prediction. Text-based classifier models, they cannot be trained on a string. So, this will convert the text into machine trainable form. Further, its features of building the semantic, they help in the text-based classification. Next is document clustering. This is another application where we are using word embedding. Here, in this process of document clustering, word2vec, which is designed by Google, it is most commonly used. Then natural language processing, there are some applications where word embedding is also used in the thing like natural language processing for the purpose of speech tagging, for the purpose of sentimental analysis, and for the purpose of speech recognition. There, in that particular field, we are using our word embedding technique. So what is word embedding basically? It is to compute the similar words together. It is a technique. Word embedding basically is a technique to compute the similar words together. Now comes a very important term, or we can say topic, that is generative adversarial network. GEN, we can call it in short. They are a powerful class of neural network that can work for unsupervised learning. So basically, generative adversarial network, they are a class of neural network only. Now it is why it was developed. It was basically developed for unsupervised learning only. It was developed by N.J. Goodfellow in 2014. So this is a recent advancement in the field of unsupervised learning. They are basically made up of a system of two competing neural network models which compete with each other, and we are able to analyze, to capture and to copy a variation within a data set. Basically what happens in this? In this we have two competing neural network. Till now we were talking about that we have a neural network in which we feed our data, computation takes place and we receive our output. But in case of GEN, we have two neural networks which are competing with each other to generate the best output. Generative adversarial network, it can be broken into three parts. Generative. To learn a generative model which describe how the data is generated in terms of probabilistic model, means how the data will be generated. Then we have adversarial, means the training of the network is being done in adversarial form. Then we have network. Obviously, we are using two different network for the purpose of generation of the output. So we can call it a network. So that is why the term given, the name given to this is generative adversarial network. How does it work? The generator, it generates fixed samples of the data. Now the data can be in the form of images, audio, videos or any form. And it tries to fool the discriminator. Basically, we have a discriminator which will be provided with some real data samples, as you can see in the picture given, and there is a generator which is creating some form of fake samples of data. So the discriminator tries to distinguish between the real and the fake samples. The generator and the discriminator. Here both of these are neural networks, and they both run in competition with each other in the training phase, and depending on the condition, if it is correct, then it will be this discriminator wins. Otherwise, it will again be the function of generator to provide input to the discriminator. So here we are using two neural network together. One is the generator and another one is the discriminator. Generator, it generates fake samples of data, and the discriminator, we provided with the real data samples as well as fake data samples, and its function is to distinguish between these two kind of samples. For the similar thing, we have a generative model. Generative modeling, what is this? It is an unsupervised learning task in the machine learning which involves automatically discovering and learning the regularities or the patterns in input data in such a way that the model can be used to generate or output the new examples that plausibly could have been drawn from the original dataset too. A generative model, it describes how a dataset is generated in terms of probabilistic model. By sampling from this model, we are able to generate the new data. Suppose we have a dataset containing, let us say, the images of horse. We may wish to build a model which can generate a new image of a horse, which is fake, which is not the original thing, but still it looks real because the model has been trained in such a way that the appearance of the images that will be provided, it will be similar. So basically, generative modeling, it is an unsupervised learning again. It is a task in machine learning which involves automatically discovering and learning the regularities or the patterns in the input data. How? In such a way that the model can be used to generate or output new examples that could have been drawn from the original data set. That means we will be provided with some images which are actually of the real thing, and we can generate a very similar image from this. So that is called generative model.